What is up, guys? D Chantilly here, and today we're going to be looking into whether or not Netflix should get into video game streaming. And I had this idea a couple of years ago, but for some reason I put it to the side. I never made a video on it. But as time wears on, what I thought would happen is beginning to happen. Like streamers signing these multi-year deals, other streaming platforms poaching them from their competition. But when you look around, there really is a place for Netflix here. And let's take a look at Netflix. It's a $184.67 billion company as of May 27, 2020. It has over 182 million paid subscribers, about 69.9 million of which live in the US or Canada. About 58.7 million live in Europe, the Middle East, or Africa, and this is currently their fastest growing region as of last quarter, adding almost 7 million paid subscribers. And then you have about 34.3 million in Latin America and about 19.8 million in Asia. And when you look at Netflix's subscriber count, they could try and leverage them into new opportunities and new streams of revenue. And I see video game streaming as a natural fit because streaming is what Netflix does. Netflix also has a stronghold on the younger generation. According to Business of Apps, in the United States, 59% of people between the ages 16 and 34 say that Netflix is indispensable. And in the UK, people between the ages 18 and 34 watch between 1 and 4 hours of Netflix a day. And so as you can see, the younger generation is enamored with Netflix, but they also like watching video games. And the younger generation really likes watching video games. And if you see a lot of these articles being published, you'll see just that. And there's many reasons for it. Number one, people love video games. Number two, it's interactive. The streamer you're watching is interacting with the chat. They're answering your questions. And so you get that personal one-on-one connection with the streamer. And to further build on that, it's live. It's happening in the moment. It's like watching live sports. Everything is happening at the same time. You're experiencing this alongside the streamer. You may also want to get better at the game or want to see what someone really good looks like. And so you watch someone who's really good at the game. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to one thing, and that's entertainment. Watching people play video games is entertaining. And that's what Netflix does. They're streaming entertainment. They do still deliver DVDs, I believe, and other things like that, but they're mainly streaming entertainment. And if you don't play a lot of video games, you probably wouldn't like it. But according to NPD Group, 73% of US consumers play video games. And if people are watching streamers play video games, that means they're not watching Netflix. Most likely. I wouldn't be surprised if someone was watching Twitch and Netflix at the same time. But for the most part, they're not watching Netflix. So what are they watching? Twitch, the #1 streaming platform. That belongs to Amazon, a competitor. The number 2, YouTube, that belongs to Google/Alphabet. And so to keep a long story short, they're not watching Netflix and they're not using your product. Netflix, by making a move into video game streaming, could see success. And it'll open up another source of revenue, and that being advertising. Netflix hasn't yet added ads to their current platform, and it's not likely they will. But advertising is a source of revenue that I think they really want because it's high margin and they're putting the ads on free content. And Netflix spends a lot of money on content, but this content will practically be free because people will come to stream on your platform without you having to pay them. But obviously, as they move up the ladder in terms of popularity and following, then they qualify for different monetization options. But at the end of the day, you're still making profits on the advertisements you're selling. And in terms of advertising, it's very common for video game streamers to have ads on their content, whether you go on YouTube, whether you go on Twitch. It's something that the consumers expect. So if you go on Netflix right now and you see an ad pop up, whoa, there's a problem. But in terms of watching video game streamers, it'd be a bit odd if you didn't see an ad. And so consumer backlash because of ads is something that Netflix will not have to worry about. Also, attracting advertisers to the platform is something Netflix probably won't have to struggle with because they already have a base of over 182 million people. And so they can sway their current base over to the gaming platform. Hey, you watch your movies, your TV shows here, maybe check out some gaming. Maybe you can find some streamers that you like. Maybe we have a streamer that you like. Keep it all in one place. And so they can also stretch out into non-paying users. Like on Twitch, you don't pay for that. Advertisers do. But if you don't want ads, you can pay for that feature when you subscribe to certain streamers. And the same concept can be applied to Netflix's streaming service. And if you don't want ads on the whole platform, you can pay for that feature as well. I believe Twitch charges $8.99 a month for that. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But Netflix can charge something similar to it for their own platform. And I would say as an extension of your Netflix membership, you can get ad-free video game streaming service for an additional fee, but Seeing that Amazon got rid of that, it may not be the best way to go financially. And so I'm not sure. Maybe they can do that as a part of your normal Netflix membership. You can get ad-free video game streaming service for an additional fee. And if they can pull that off in a cost-effective way, that can be huge, because that would be perfect for families. It keeps everyone in the same ecosystem because parents can watch what they want to watch and monitor what their kids watch, all from the same place. But another question is, how should Netflix go about this? And there's really just two ways. You can build it or you can buy it. Building their own platform is going to be an expensive and time-consuming journey, and then they'll have to attract users to the platform. As I looked around the market, there are some obvious names that I ruled out, like Twitch, YouTube Gaming, Facebook Gaming. Obviously, those are off the table. And so when I really narrowed it down, it came down to three companies: Smashcast, Gosu Gamers, and Mixer. Now, it's hard for me to say which would be the best to acquire because Gosu Gamers and Smashcast numbers aren't known. We don't know their watch hours, financials, user base numbers, etc. But they're still relatively small companies, and when you look at Smashcast, it's a combination of Azubu and Hitbox Gaming. They focus on esports, and they claim to be the world's largest independent esports broadcaster outside of Asia. And then you have Gosu Gamers, who really focuses on live esports competition broadcast. And so when you look at those other two, from my understanding, they're mainly broadcast networks for esports, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not the direction I'm really heading in here with Netflix. When I look at Netflix, I'm thinking more Twitch, Mixer, Facebook Gaming, and I'm thinking more of individual streamers. I'm thinking more of that. Although down the line, I do think Netflix should look into buying broadcasting rights for esports. When you look at Disney, it really worked out for them. The 2019 Grand Finals for the Overwatch League saw a 16% year-over-year increase in average viewers, and that average viewer count was 1.12 million viewers, which is a lot of people, and that's going to draw a lot of interest from advertisers. And so when you look at the broadcasting rights, that could be very lucrative. But I just don't think that's where Netflix should start off. And then we have our final acquisition target in Mixer, and to put it nicely, they saw anemic year-over-year growth in terms of hours watched. According to Forbes, Mixer saw between April 2019 and April 2020 just 0.2% growth. 0.2. Compared to Facebook Gaming's 238%, Twitch's 98/101%, YouTube Gaming 65%, and industry growth of 99%. Mixer also had two huge signings in Ninja and Shroud, but that hasn't materialized much apparently. Mixer's also had its fair share of issues according to this Forbes article. And I quote, "Mixer has had a rough few months that involved the original founders leaving the business alongside a general manager and a corporate vice president. However, what hasn't been reported is that over the last 6 months, there has been 16 layoffs due to budget cuts, which shred roughly 25% of an already skeleton team and are causing feature releases to slip schedules." On top of that, Ninja has also said Mixer hasn't been doing a lot of advertising for the platform. And so could Microsoft be looking at Mixer as a mistake or something they don't see being a part of their future? And so maybe they look to sell. They have an attractive user base. It's a well built out platform. And they bought it for an undisclosed amount of money back in 2016. But I'm sure they can get more than what they paid for it then. And the only question would be, will they be willing to sell to Netflix? Either way, the question of build it or buy it can only be answered with a lot more information than we have access to. But naturally, I lean towards buying it because if you buy Mixer, you already have your big streamers on the platform in Ninja and Shroud, so you won't have to go out and find one like Facebook did with Disguised Toast. And that's a big concern for me because if you look at the big influential streamers like, let's say Pokimane, you have Ninja, most of them are already under contract. So trying to find the perfect person to poach to, be your flagship person is going to be a challenge within itself. Plus, with Mixer, you already have a built-in user base to build off of. And so to sum this whole video up, Netflix expanding into video game streaming will be good for three main reasons. Number one, it'll get and keep more people in the Netflix ecosystem. It opens up a high margin revenue stream in advertising. And finally, it's a business expansion that fits right into their strong suit. So they pretty much won't have to be learning something completely new. And so there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. What do you think about Netflix jumping into the video game streaming service? Do you think it's a bad idea? I'm really interested to see what you guys think down in the comment section below. See you there.